Reach is a common issue for many climbers. The distance to the next handhold can drastically affect the difficulty of a move and perceivably make or break a climb. I've heard many a climber come off the wall in exasperation saying that a hold is too far, they can't reach it, and therefore the climb is impossible. But what if there is a way to maximize your reach? While we can't make you grow longer arms, you can apply some simple concepts to help you make the most of your reach. This video will go over 3 methods. To help demonstrate is Evelyn, a nationals level youth climber from Nebraska who also happens to be one of my favorite short people. Turning the hip in may be the method that's the easiest to observe. Because our arms are positioned laterally on the outside of our midline, turning the hip in will cause them to be more flush with the wall. This offers a small but vital reach advantage. You can test it out yourself. Find a wall and position your body flush against it with hips square. Reach straight up as high as you can. Then shift slightly with one hip turned in. You'll notice your fingers will creep higher ever so slightly. Applied to climbing, this means that a slight hip rotation can afford you a bit more reach. When reaching for a far hold, turn in the hip on the same side as the arm you're moving. Reaching with the left arm means turning in the left hip. The primary foot, also on the same side, will pivot into an outside edge position. Here's pro climber Kokoro Fuji demonstrating a textbook hip in position to maximize his reach of the right hand to the far right side pull. You may have noticed in method 1 that in order to turn the hip in, she needs to establish primary contact points on her opposite hand and foot. If she's reaching with the right hand, she moves off of the left hand and right foot, and vice versa. The orientation of opposite hand and foot affords the most stable position by distributing the tension diagonally across your body, as opposed to only along one side of the midline. Here's Evelyn demonstrating a far-reaching left-hand move, first using same side hand and foot, and then using opposite hand and foot. Notice the difference in control, stability, and timing of both methods. Opposite hand and foot is often used with the outside flag technique when turning the hip in. This allows you to move off of 2 contact points and utilize the push and pull from those points to reach for the next hold. It is possible to turn the hip in from the same side hand and foot using the inside flag, but this is a more advanced technique with a trickier hip rotation. A very common habit of climbers is leading with the foot. This means that if a foothold is in the same direction as the handhold they're moving to, they will first set the foot and use it to reposition their body towards the handhold. While this is a completely logical movement pattern, it's not always the best choice or even the most energy efficient. An easy example to cite is a scenario where the foothold is not very good, or it's too far, or both. Your base of support is only as good as the quality of your connection points, so if a foothold is bad enough, it's rendered useless no matter how well positioned. The more we try to use the foot, the more energy we waste. A more efficient method would be to use a foothold in your current position to push into the movement. Look for any footholds beneath you or even away from the target handhold where you can push off of. This can even be a smear. Pushing with your legs is always going to be stronger than pulling with your arms, and allows you to extend more naturally to reach for a hold. Combine this with methods 1 and 2 of turning the hip in and using opposite hand and foot to maximize that reach. Let's watch the pros utilize this push into the movement method. Japanese climber Anan Matsufuji keeps her feet low to push and gain the left side pull at the start of this boulder. Compare this with the leading with the foot method mentioned earlier. On the same move, Mao Nakamura opts to position her left foot high in the direction of the hold and relies on pulling to get her to the left side pull. While both methods work, you can see that Mao's way expended a bit more energy. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and a huge thank you again to the MW Climbing family for your hospitality. If you're ever in Nebraska, go check out their gym and climb with a wonderful community there. Until next time, have a great holiday and New Year's, and always, move better, climb harder.